Did you know that divorce attorneys can actually make financial mistakes? Yeah, they really can make pretty deadly ones. And you need to know what they actually can be. So make sure you watch this video all the way till the end so that you can protect yourself. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung. I have been recognized as one of the top 1% of divorce attorneys by US News as a best lawyer in America. I'm also one of the most highly recognized negotiation experts in the United States and globally. And I want to help you escape any kind of toxic relationship. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when I upload brand new videos, which is every single day. It is my mission to help you break free from toxic relationships so that you can create a brand new life for yourself. I have been exactly where you are, which is why I'm on this mission to help people in every aspect, whether it is business, whether it is personal, whether it's family, romantic. I've been exactly where you are, feeling paralyzed, powerless, paranoid, and I have escaped. And I am feeling at peace and at ease. And so I want to help you get to that same place. All right, let's now talk about the deadliest financial mistakes that divorce attorneys can make. And I'm telling you, I've been an attorney for 23 years now, and I have seen these deadly mistakes from other attorneys, and I've seen the deep cost that it can take. And a lot of times what people would do is they would think that they could save some pennies or whatever. And they would come to my office and they would say, get me out of this, help me fix this. A lot of times it's too late once the damage is done. And so I really want to help you before this happens to you. And by the way, I do have a free 15-page e-booklet. When you are dealing, if you are negotiating with a narcissist, you definitely want to grab this. It's at winmynegotiation.com. Definitely grab that. It has literally helped thousands of people. People have won their entire negotiations on it. So just get that at winmynegotiation.com for sure. The 4 deadliest mistakes that divorce attorneys can make, and you're definitely going to want to watch this all the way till the end. Number one is leaving someone on the hook for the mortgage, but transferring ownership of the house. A lot of times, it seems like a good idea at the time. Somebody wants to keep the house. They have this emotional attachment to the house because kids want to still live there. Let's say mom stays in the house with the kids. And so dad goes ahead and transfers the deed of the house over to mom, but stays on the mortgage, decides to go ahead and continue to pay the mortgage. Well, he now no longer has any ownership of the house, but he stays on the mortgage of the house. So he's got all the liability, but none of the ownership. And that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to me. And so what happens is, down the road, he now wants to go and buy something else, and he now can't qualify to buy something else because he now still has this liability in his name, and he doesn't even have the asset to show for it on the other side. He just only has this massive liability. It's absolutely a mess. It seems like a great idea at the time. I think a lot of times, they think, oh, well, when they sell the house, house, or when the ex-wife sells the house, then maybe he'll get some piece of it or something. But it doesn't end up ever working out that way, because, you know, she gets remarried and then there's another person involved, and who's going to end up paying for major repairs and things like that? He's no longer on the deed. It's messy. It ends up being very, very, very messy when people are still involved. The only thing that makes sense when it comes to a house is you sell it and split the net proceeds, or you refinance it and get the person's name off of it. That's it. I mean, you don't end up staying involved in the finances of a house like that, period, because then, you know, the other person can't qualify and it's just a mess. So when it comes to a home, you either sell it and split the net proceeds, or you refinance and you get the other person's name off. Whoever is remaining in the home, you take over that mortgage, and that's it. Nope, the other person who's leaving that house should have no ties left to that house. They take their half of the net proceeds, and that's it. They should have no more ties left to that home. If they want to pay, then they should have to just pay within the spousal support number. That's how it should be paid, not through the mortgage directly itself. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is not remembering to put something in the marital settlement agreement, or even asking the judge or the court to order something to be put in the final judgment. Then if you're going to trial, it should be in the final judgment. If it's a mediated agreement, then it should be in the marital settlement agreement. Something about past jointly filed tax returns. How will they be handled? What are you going to do about the liability on past jointly filed tax returns? When people have been married, they have potentially filed tax returns together that were jointly filed. So you need to take a look at how that's going to be handled. You know, are you going to split that liability equally if they're audited? So what I'm talking about is if the IRS comes along and audits those tax returns, what are you going to do about that? Is the liability going to be split equally? Is it going to be assigned to the person who made the money? You know, how is that going to be handled? That should be put directly into the agreement. Otherwise, it's just going to be split equally. I mean, if that's going to be presumed. And if you don't want it that way, then you need to put it into the agreement. And that's something that a lot of times divorce attorneys often forget to put something in the agreement about. And you know, and definitely consult your CPA or your tax attorney or whoever your accountant is, or whoever it is that you get advice from on this, but definitely put something in your agreement about this. The next one is not filing for temporary support immediately, especially for the person who is the non-moneyed spouse. If you are the non-moneyed spouse, get your attorney to file something immediately. Many times you wait too long, and then you're over there basically sucking wind because you don't have any way to support yourself. And your attorney waited too long to file something to ask for temporary support from the other spouse, who was always carrying all of the expenses for the marriage. Depending on where you live, a lot of times the relief can actually be retroactive back to when the motion was filed. So even if the hearing took place months later, you can get relief back to the date the motion was filed. So many times I actually would file the motion for temporary relief, even along with the petition for dissolution of marriage, because then when you set the hearing, you can get that relief all the way back to the date of the petition, basically. So don't wait too long to ask for temporary support. And that temporary support, that temporary relief motion or request for relief can be for temporary support for the spouse, temporary child support, temporary attorney's fees, a number of different ways that you can get temporary monetary relief. But don't wait for that, because sometimes it can take a long time to get a hearing. And then even once you get the hearing, it can take a long time to get the judge to even make a ruling. I mean, once you get to the hearing, it doesn't even mean that the judge rules right away. Most of the time, the judge doesn't rule right away. It can take a very long period of time, which is why, by the way, I say you should always have a stash of cash before you file. All right. So you should definitely have your eyes wide open when you're doing all of these things. So put eyes wide open in the comments right now, eyes wide open, because even divorce attorneys can make mistakes. All right. Last one is, a lot of times divorce attorneys forget to put something in the final agreements about attorney's fees if one party defaults on something in the agreement. So what I would always like to do is put something in the agreement to allow for fees if one party defaults, meaning if you have to come back and enforce the agreement, whoever has to enforce the agreement gets fees for the enforcement. So in other words, the defaulting party would have to pay both sides fees for the enforcement. It's just a way of actually, sort of disincentivizing both parties to do anything that would be against the agreement. Or the counter of that is sort of incentivizing both parties to just do everything that you're supposed to in the agreement, if that makes sense. So not putting something in the agreement that allows for fees if one party defaults. That's the last one. 4 deadliest mistakes that I've seen divorce attorneys make. These can be really, really catastrophic. So you need to make sure that you are covered and keep your eyes wide open when you are dealing with your own divorce attorney, and keep them on track when you are in your divorce proceedings. All right. Now, a couple of different things I want to make sure that you know to join my Narcissist Negotiators Facebook page, so that you aren't alone when you are doing this in your divorce, or even if you're just dealing with a narcissist in general, you're not even at that point yet, or you're just really needing that support. Go to Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung and join my free private Facebook groups to get that additional support that you need. If you are in need of therapy and you just don't have access to therapy and you want an online support system for therapy, I have a sponsor on this channel who can definitely help you, and that's BetterHelp. And all you have to do is go to betterhelp.com/Rebecca Zung to access that. And it's an amazing resource for you. We receive commissions on that. It doesn't cost you one single penny extra. We just want you to have access to resources that you can trust and that we have vetted. There's that for you. The next thing is the next video that I think that you should watch, which is how narcissists act during a divorce case and what to do about it. An amazing video that you need to go watch next. But before you do that, make sure you have subscribed to this channel and hit that notification bell, because we release new videos every single day. Free resources for you right here every day to empower you, to inspire you, to get you free. All right. So remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. We are here for you. We care about you. We're here to help you break free. And we will see you in that next video. I will see you in that next video, how narcissists act during a divorce case and what to do about it. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I will see you there.